Hi, hello there. Um, my name is Courtney Brookins, and I am an educator. I'm the author of um, the book Flowering Yourself, which is a collection of poems. It is a self-love story, and I am also the co-founder of the company One Sun, Three Flowers. I am coming to you today to talk to you about living a plant based lifestyle. Um, I wrote a blog today. Entitled Yes, I'm Vegan. No, I'm Not Skinny. And basically, the call of action for this blog was just to kind of highlight on some of the reasons in which I became a vegan and just kind of have a level of advocacy for people who are one looking to lead a more healthy lifestyle, and for two, a level of acceptance of whatever your body type is. So, I know everyone isn't into reading things. Literacy comes in many different forms. One of the forms now is blogging. So, I just want to share with you my thoughts on plant based eating, why I became a plant based eater, and how that has affected my life and my body. So, I shared in the blog that I come from a very curvy background. I was about a size 12 when I began being a vegan, and even, began my journey into plant based eating. And even now, as I have started to fully immerse myself in the vegan lifestyle, I'm still not skinny. One of the most common criticisms or questioning that I get is, Courtney, how are you a vegan, but you're still thick? How are you a vegan, but you're not skinny? And what do these terms even mean? I was on Facebook the other day and I saw one of the people on my page questioning, at what point do you become plus size? And I think that a lot of these conversations are happening because American society um, and just the world puts a lot of pressure on the image of women and girls, and how we look and how we present ourselves. So the conversations of body image, size, shape, all of that are constant. But as I shared in my blog, despite what America might try to socialize us into believing is an appropriate way to look, there is no one size fits all. That's right, ladies. We have the right to look um, and be our best, and we only need to be the ones that are okay with that. So whether you're a size 0, a size 6, or a size 20, it doesn't really matter. Women come in all shapes and sizes and colors, and so do vegans. And to expect for all vegans to be skinny is not only unfair, it's unrealistic. Myself personally, I come from a long line of big hips, thick thighs, and heavy bottoms, and large, large, a large chest. There we go. That's a nice way to put it. So I never had the expectation of having a skinny body. A matter of fact, early from childhood, in early childhood, I started to become quite shapely. Um, in my younger years, like preteens, I was referred to as thick, or she has a big butt, or um, all of these different things. Even had a mother tell my mother when I was younger, oh, well, yeah, she's kind of thick, but it's probably just baby fat. And so as I could, and I've always been athletic. I've played a number of sports. I'm a tennis coach right now. So I've done things. I practice yoga. I'm a former dancer, tennis player, soccer player, swimmer. I've always been active, but that hasn't, even with me being active and my eating style changing, I still haven't fallen into that um, place of being skinny. I just haven't. And I'm okay with that. Like when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm okay with not being skinny. And I really just want to encourage those of you all who are looking to shift your lifestyle. I think that we set our own goals for ourselves, and whatever you set for yourself is great and it's wonderful. But just from, excuse me, just from my vantage point, I just would like to say that to put the pressure of just expecting your body to look a certain way just because you change your lifestyle um, might be a heavy pressure to put on yourself. I'm not saying it's unrealistic. I'm not saying it's impossible. But what I am saying is that there are many more wonderful reasons to go vegan than just because you want to be thinner. And so I will share some of the reasons I chose to be vegan as I did in my vlog. So one of the reasons I chose to become vegan is because of the issue of acidity. Okay. Your body becomes more acidic through drinking beverages that contain acidity, um, different types of liquor, coffee, um, drinks that are high in sugar, all help to produce higher levels of acidity. Also, eating foods, like I said, that contain high levels of sugar. Um, Eating a lot of meat. I know it has become this really popular phenomenon to drink alkaline water. And while I'm not taking that away from anyone, I would like to say one of the more easy ways to allow your body to become alkaline is by lessening your sugar, watching the drinks you consume, and lowering your amount of meat intake and replacing it with fruits and vegetables. So you become more alkaline, right? You're trying to move your body. Think about science. You're kind of neutral, basic, or acidic, right? And so the more things that you eat, you move yourself further away from uh, further into that level of acidity. And so that was one reason why I decided to become a vegan. Another reason is I'm a mother of two girls. Um, and if you follow me on One Sun Three Flowers on Instagram, I link to their page a lot. They are really phenomenal young ladies. They have started their own shirt line where they're really just working to empower other girls. But I won't go into that too much on this video. But one of them, my youngest daughter, actually is lactose intolerant. And so as she really struggled with these digestional issues, they began actually when she was on the bottom. And at that point, I was not in this space of my journey, but she was really struggling with formula and whole milk, all the things that America and American pediatricians tell you that you should be giving your children. I started off breastfeeding, and as I weaned her off after about 6 months, I put her on formula. It seemed like none of them worked. And two, I got to a place of getting her some formulas that didn't that were like soy based, which even now have reflectively, I have some things that I wish I could take back from those situations, and even allowing her to be on formula. But again, I won't go too far left. This is not a mothering blog fully. This is my journey of veganism. So, anyway, she would throw up the whole milk. She would throw up the formulas depending on what stage she was at. And the doctor kept saying, well, try her on 2%, or when she was drinking out the bottle, try her on soy. And it would get better, but it wouldn't fully get good. And I think there's a number of issues that go along with that. But as I began to further my journey, my eating journey, I learned that dairy contains a lot of things that irritate a lot of people's bodies. And so I have learned that um, her being lactose intolerant, a lot of people have trouble tolerating milk that was never intended for them. I know at this point we're in a knowledge based space, and at this point we do know that Um, Dairy milk is something that is created for calves, okay, baby cows, okay. So they're not. It's not for us. The milk, the animal milk that we're supposed to that we um, that is meant truly for us to consume comes from breast milk. Okay. And once we are no longer in the space of drinking that, there are plenty of plant based milk that our body can tolerate and be able to break down and accept more. There's pea milk, PEA. Not a lot of people say what PEA made from peas. And yes, it is white. There's almond, there's coconut, there's cashew. Cashew is one of my favorites. There's so many other alternatives that we don't have to continue to strip this product from a cow that is meant for its babies. And so, in addition to my daughter being lactose intolerant, I started really paying attention of the effects that it had on my body. I have several family members who can't tolerate dairy, and so what they have started to do is take pills to help them be able to tolerate something that their body really doesn't like. So that was kind of a news flash for me. Number three, being environmentally conscious. I know that this mass production of meat based off of our us overeating or over consuming um, meat is has a lot of negative drawbacks on our environment. Our environment is negatively impacted in so many ways because of the overconsumption of meat, the beef industry, the this chicken industry, um, all these different hazards that are coming from our need to eat and consume so much meat is one of our has negative consequences on Mother Earth. Outside of that, I think I just talked about dairy. So number four, what was my fourth reason for me? Oh, fourth reason for becoming vegan. I'm so sorry. Sometimes you get lost in your thoughts. I talked about my daughter being lactose intolerant. Um, being environmentally conscious. Oh, my family history. How can I forget that? I have relatives, ancestors, people in my lineage who have dealt with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all Alzheimer's, just a number of issues, diabetes, that are dietary related. And so these family members get on pills, they go to doctors, they're doing all these things to try to counteract what's going on with their body instead of ever considering, hey, maybe I can try eating differently so I don't have to continue to fuel the pharmaceutical system. Maybe I can try to shift some of what I put in my mouth. And that shifting of what I put in my mouth doesn't mean put different pills in. It doesn't mean try different things to get us hooked on, because that's what a lot of these pills do. Once you start them, it's hard to stop. But trying to eat more greenery, trying to lessen our sugars, increase our water intake, all of those three things really help to counteract these um, these generational diseases. So my family's health, watching what has happened with them, has also helped to motivate me and to just wanting to have some shifts go on in my life. So I'm really happy about the journey I have. I began it about 12 years ago. When I began my journey, I started off, my roots are Southern. I am a Chicagoan myself, but my mother's from Georgia, my grandma's from Memphis, my other grandma's from Georgia as well, grandfather from Mississippi, and another grandfather from Florida. So a lot of my roots trace back to the South, and so some of those eating habits, which are more common in the African American community, have been taught to me for the years that I have been alive and with my family. So when I began the shift, it wasn't easy. I tell people all the time, they say, hey, Court, how do you do it? I say I would never jump right in, because I think that becoming a vegan, becoming a plant-based eater is a lifestyle change. Okay, so the first step I did was I started getting rid of beef and pork, and I started replacing those products with turkey products. And so everything for me became turkey and chicken based. And I did that for, I'm going to say, like 8 to 10 years. I got stuck in that phase for a while, just being honest. It took me a while to come out of that. After I I'm sorry, did I say, yeah, 8 to 10 years. I haven't been, as you can, if you're doing the math, I haven't been plant based that long. And so after I came out of that, I got rid of turkey and chicken, which was kind of hard, and to I shifted to pescatarian, which means I only consumed veggies and fish. And that was a huge transition for me as well, because I have been used to eating pretty much the things I've always eaten my whole life, but just replacing them with fish. And so now it started to feel like didn't have much to eat, and that was hard for me because, again, that's why I say don't jump in it, because you get so accustomed to going to certain restaurants, ordering certain things off the menus, stopping at certain places, shopping at certain stores, and then all of a sudden I can't eat this anymore. I can't buy this. I can't go here. And so it's a mental shift. It's a transition. And what we eat is so important to us, because that's another form of socializing. What I eat, where I go, there's a lot of times that encompasses companionship. So now I'm having to go to different restaurants or asking what's on the menu before people invite me out, because I know it might be a possibility that I might not be able to eat what's there because I'm starting to eat different. And so that's something else that comes along with this transition. The having people around you that can accept your journey is really key and important, because it's going to be some shifts. Maybe you and your best friend go to Red Lobster, every month. But if you're no longer eating fish, that can't happen. Or maybe your favorite food place is a burger joint, but you no longer eat beef or turkey. So these are shifts. But after I became pescatarian, it took me about 6 months to shift into vegetarian. And from vegetarian, I practiced that for about a year. And I really just started kind of having some conversation with myself. I had never had the goal of being a vegan, but I was like, you're still eating egg or products that have egg in it, and you don't believe in drinking dairy, but yet you're eating things that have dairy in them. So just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. It doesn't mean it won't affect your body. So I just had to be very truthful with myself and say, you know what, Courtney, let's make that final push. And I have started to make that final push, and here I am, currently trying to master this space of veganism. And I couldn't be more excited, but I have so much more to learn, guys. As I shared in my blog, I'm learning that veganism is not just a shift of diet, it's a lifestyle change. One of the most rewarding things that I've learned from being vegan is it has taught me so much empathy. It has raised so much awareness for me. It has had me to become so much more conscious of what I'm eating and why. And I haven't mastered it. And I still have room for growth, but I'm growing daily and I'm learning daily. And the shift from being a vegetarian to becoming a vegan has been a big transition, more so than what most people would think. Just from the idea of, I used to, for instance, certain drinks, as I said in my blog, they're filtered through animal fat. And if you're a vegan, if you're truly 100% vegan, you're not going to have that drink, because you want nothing that has any traces of animal products. Or veggie burgers that you might have eaten, but they were made with egg. That was kind of part of the ingredient in creating that patty. So starting to watch out for all of those little ingredients are a total shift. Or hey, I'm gonna go out with someone for breakfast and I want pancakes. Well, if these pancakes have dairy in them, then that's not a vegan option. So just being aware of those different things and making those different shifts which causes you to have to shop differently, eat differently, go to different places. It's just a total mindset, a total different practice. And and the journey is not over just when it comes to eating, because as I said, veganism is a lifestyle. Vegans won't wear certain clothing products, or won't use certain makeup or personal care items, just because even with the animal testing, because they have become so empathetic and loving and aware of life, they treat all life equally. And so, because there is this awareness and there is this love and there is this affinity for all forms of life, vegans are just very aware of what they're eating and how what they're eating affects other people. And so I'm so happy to say that I have ridden myself of many of the things that I once ate. But I am being honest, and I know that this journey is continuous. But it's so exciting and it's so rewarding, and I cannot. Um, I'm just grateful that I began it. And it was very hard on me in the beginning because I had no friends or family members that were vegan. But now I am starting to have friends that are starting to transition or ask questions. I'm starting to have friends who are being open to trying new recipes or or go to different restaurants to ask me. I have I see it catching on. Just like it caught on to me. I have a cousin who I love dearly, and um, we connect in many ways. She's an earth sign like myself. She's a Capricorn. I love my cousin, and she has been a very great guidance for me on sending me and helping. She's fully vegan. She's made that transition 100%, and she's helping to fill me up with information, help me with this transition of veganism. And you need support. Yeah, that's what I'm going with this. You need support. You need someone who you can share ideas with, and thoughts and recipes and restaurants, and you can spread that information on to other people who become curious. As you work toward living and leading the lifestyle that you are hopeful to have. So, um, those are my thoughts on veganism. That is where I am in my journey. If you like this video, please subscribe to my website, www.onesun3flowers.com. I'm on Facebook at One Sun Three Flowers, Instagram, same username, Periscope, and YouTube. So continue to follow me. I do actually have a food diary too on Instagram as well. It's called The Foodie Foxes. And my bestie and I share our journey of eating. She is not plant-based, but she is gluten-free, and she is very open-minded and interested in trying lots of different ways to eating and just maintaining her health. So any way you want to connect with me, please do. And I thank you for your time, and I look forward to sharing more of my journey with you. Light and love, as always.